And that was supposed to be the pro-Trump event. Dang nabbit! Republican Congressman Ron Estes of Kansas trying to get people to rally for Trump, trying to get some good press for the Republicans and Trump, but then the number of people who turn out in Kansas to protest against him and against Trump just totally dwarfs what he was trying to do. Let me just show you like one more little 10-second blip of this. This is the very end of that local news package on KSN in Kansas. Now, Congressman Estes, how'd it go trying to get some good press for your pro-Trump event that was totally swamped by anti-Trump protesters? How did it go?
Donald Trump and MAGA are running scared. Of course, our cowardly president will not allow real questions to be asked from honest media outlets. That's why he's banning them and kicking them out of the White House. And speaking of kicking out, we see protesters kicked out of Republican town halls and those same Republican members of Congress leaving early or canceling them altogether because they are so afraid of their constituents. But things have gotten so bad for Donald Trump and MAGA that there is a new group of people they have to avoid the MAGA media. Yes, they can't even go on Fox anymore because all of their actions are so disastrous. Not even their propaganda outlet can defend them. And that was the shocking news brought up by a Fox host that Donald Trump is running away in a clip that we're going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me now. Before we can get into the news of how Donald Trump is avoiding his own propaganda outlet, I want to hear about the MAGA Republicans avoiding their constituents.
A Republican in Western Michigan, Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga. I think that's how you say his name. It's Huizenga. Huizenga. He held a teletown hall this weekend with his constituents. He actually told his constituents on the call that he didn't want to do an in-person town hall because he thought people would be disruptive if he showed up in person. So he just did it by phone. Even still, even though it was just on the phone, that still led to his local ABC affiliate in Western Michigan, getting him on the record and on tape from that teletown hall with this.
Take a listen to what one person asked and how he, in part, responded.
I've got a lot of angst, and hopefully I'm hoping the Congress will stand up and say, yes, you are allowed to do this, Mr. President. No, Mr. President, this has to go through Congress. Is that something that Congress is willing to do?
I will fully admit, I think Elon Musk has tweeted first and thought second sometimes, and it's been he has plunged ahead without necessarily knowing and understanding what he legally has to do or what he is going to be doing.
Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga from Michigan, afraid to meet his constituents in person, but telling them in a telephone town hall, Elon Musk has tweeted first and thought second. He has plunged ahead without knowing and understanding what he legally has to do or what he is going to be doing. The actions of Donald Trump and Elon Musk are indefensible, according to Republican members of Congress. And they do not want to have to admit that on camera in front of their constituents, let alone face them eyeball to eyeball. But doing a teletown hall still gets you on tape, even when you're just there on the phone. In Kansas this weekend, Republican Congressman Ron Estes thought that he figured out how to fix this problem. This is fantastic. Congressman Estes called for a rally. He called for a big pro-Trump rally and protest event in his district. And it was to be sponsored by a right-wing group called Americans for Prosperity. So this event, it was Saturday in Wichita, Kansas. Again, called by the congressman to telling his constituents to show up to protest for Donald Trump. And the event was drowned out by a much larger group of anti-Trump protesters who showed up to protest against Donald Trump and also against their Congressman Ron Estes.
If you look at any of the signs, you'll see everything from protect DEI to protect women to help Ukraine. It's just a little bit of everything all at once.
Defend Democracy organizers used the rally as a lightning rod, aiming to express their opposition to state leaders on a variety of topics.
The DEI, who said, the firing of so many people for no reason, the park rangers.
Arguing that the job cuts by President Donald Trump and Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency are only hurting Kansans.
Again, that was supposed to be the pro-Trump event. Dang nabbit! Republican Congressman Ron Estes of Kansas trying to get people to rally for Trump, trying to get some good press for the Republicans and Trump, but then the number of people who turn out in Kansas to protest against him and against Trump just totally dwarfs what he was trying to do. Let me just show you one more little 10-second blip of this. This is the very end of that local news package on KSN in Kansas. Now, Congressman Estes, how'd it go trying to get some good press for your pro-Trump event that was totally swamped by anti-Trump protesters? How did it go?
We intended to speak to Ron Estes, but he left the rally before addressing the media present. Here for you, Peyton Steiner, KSN News 3.
Republican Congressman Ron Estes of Kansas. Step 1, invite the media. Step 2, forget that your own constituents are horrified at Donald Trump and looking for any opportunity to protest him. Step 3, leave without talking to the media. Very important. Hope that they forget that you are the one who invited them to be there, to show off all the Trump love in your district.
These people are cowards, and it really just goes to show you how poorly they know they are doing their jobs if they are unable to answer for it, that they do not want to talk to veterans who have been fired. They do not want to talk to community leaders who are seeing funding stripped across cities and towns for programs like Meals on Wheels. They do not want to address any of the problems that they have created. They are too afraid, and now so is Donald Trump and the rest of his administration, who refuse to talk about the disastrous economy that they have created. And a Fox host is the one throwing them under the bus and spilling all of that in this clip right here.
Trump makes a point. These tariffs will raise revenues. I mean, let's not forget that. And I just let this policy come together, let it flower, try to read the economy better than some people are reading. I mean, I'm reading some incredible stuff from reputable economists. People are saying, well, gee, they're expecting higher inflation in February because of the tariffs. Tariffs haven't even kicked in yet, for heaven's sakes. And so we will see. Trump is a very persuasive negotiator. You may be surprised. Tariff rates may come down in the next 4 years.
They probably will.
The only thing that's valuable is not, no offense, because they might be your friends, probably are, but not reading any of these economists. Like, you can't read any of this, I don't want to say nonsense. You have to talk to people on the phone who are actually in business, who are dealing with this, who believe in the vision of what President Trump is doing.
There is one economist at Wall Street Journal who agrees with you, Larry. So I bring you the comments that there is an understandable worry that tariffs on imports will raise income taxes, slowing down demand in the U.S. and countries affected by tariffs. But the passing through of tariffs is not all too obvious. The Wall Street Journal analyzed that for every 10% hike in tariffs, the actual passing on of those costs was less than 2% unless it's a very, very niche product. For example, if you have a 10% tariff on a shoe in China, the actual sticker price only goes up by about 4%. Wine or olive oil from Italy, if it's very highly specialized, okay, sure, maybe that's 100% pass through. But a table linen from India, the actual raise of a 10% tariff is less than 2%, because I don't care where I get my tablecloth. It could be India, it could be Timbuktu, could be anywhere else. No one cares. They just want a tablecloth. So you have to take into account competition, price, currency adjustments, and it's not a 100% pass through. And that's if it gets passed through, because in the case of China, for example, they absorbed a lot of the tariffs before they sent product over here. So that's if it gets passed.
When you have even the Fox propaganda outlet talking about how you will not address them, you won't come on their shows, you refuse to respond to their messages about their questions on the economy, when it is quite literally their job to kind of soften up the edges and nicely present the package of your failures, and again, propagandize for you. It's reached an all-time look. This is the rock bottom. And the bottom continues to fall out of the rock bottom. I just feel like it's getting worse and worse every day. And it's the reason why Trump is running away from the media. It's the reason he's doing fewer press conferences. It's the reason we saw yesterday all the press ripped out of his meeting, his town hall with CEOs and business leaders in Washington, because they know how bad it is. They know how indefensible it all is. And it's not just Trump's actions. It's the actions of the MAGA House and the budget they just passed, which some of my favorite members of Congress, Jim McGeehan, Jared Moskett, and my Congressman Maxwell Frost called out in a couple clips right here.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, as we speak, prices are going up, inflation is up, groceries are up. I saw eggs for $10 recently. Used car prices are up, other than Teslas. Those seem much cheaper these days for some reason. Energy prices are up 25% in the gentlelady's home state of Minnesota. 25% energy price increases for her constituents thanks to Trump's tariffs that she is supporting by bringing this rule to the floor. Boy, I'm just glad she's not my representative. Meanwhile, Elon Musk was on Fox Business this morning. He's not talking about food prices or energy prices. He's talking about how he wants to, quote, eliminate entitlements. This is the guy that calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme. The guy that's laying off people at Social Security offices already. Maybe Elon doesn't know this, but Social Security is not an entitlement. It's a program that people have spent their entire life paying into. Shame on him.
Recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No, that's exactly right. It's CR Day on Capitol Hill, and what is going on with the Republicans? I mean, President Trump puts out a tweet and says, please, and all of a sudden, just flip-flops. But you know what? Let me do some mean tweets about how you feel about CRs when you're in the minority only. And the first one actually is from the gentleman from Texas. And it says, it's Groundhog Day in the House chamber, all the time, every day. Yet again, spending money we don't have, apparently only when he's in the minority. Another one from a colleague, comparing continuing resolutions to attending a P. Diddy party. In any given year, another colleague says, if Congress raises the debt ceiling, passes a CR, and rams through an omnibus bill, no member of Congress should receive a paycheck. That's awkward for you guys. How many of you are going to give back your paycheck? Another colleague, I've never voted for a CR. You sent me to Congress to cut wasteful spending, and I'm a woman of my word. You can guess who that is. And this one, this is my favorite. What does a CR stand for? It stands for capitulating Republicans, caving Republicans, said by a Republican. And you know what? I'm going to miss the Never CR group. I mean, they were great, but they're breaking up. And it was great to see them live while they were together. They had lots of fans. I'm going to miss them. I mean, they were mostly a boy band, okay? Some of them are going solo. Appears it's only Thomas Massey. But you know what? Something tells me there'll be a reunion, but only when they're in the minority. And to quote Representative Massey, talking about Republicans, I guess deficits only matter when we're in the minority. So listen, go home to your families, turn in your voting cards, give Trump the gavel, because that is what has happened to your entire party. You don't need to be here. He tells you to do something, you jump. And so what's going on in the world? Another representative brought what's going on in the world in the last 30 days. Well, let's see. Egg prices are up. Goods are up. Stock market is down.
Florida is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think it's interesting because anytime my colleagues want to defend horrible moves by the Trump administration, whether trying to cut Medicare, cut Medicaid, they keep saying, the people have spoken, without realizing that the people are speaking. That's why they continue to cancel their town halls, because they don't want to hear what the people are saying right now. Costs are at an all-time high. I came down here to tell people that if you're struggling to afford food, you can't pay your rent, the medical bills are stacking up, this bill will make your life worse. Why? to give tax cuts to billionaires and big corporations. This bill sets up major cuts to Medicaid, which 60,000 children in my district rely on for health care. Cuts to Medicare, steals from veterans, ripping away benefits, steals from working people and families, gives even more unchecked power to President Elon Musk and Doge. And recently Musk said that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. So every vote in favor of this bill endorses those words. You vote for this, go to your constituents and be loud and proud. Tell them that the program that they've paid into and worked on their entire life so they can retire with dignity is a Ponzi scheme. Oh wait, Republicans have been told by their leadership to stop doing town halls. Why? Because the people are pissed off. They're scared. Many have been sold this BS lie that if we just give all the power to billionaires like Elon Musk, we'll all be okay. But I got breaking news for you. The billionaires have always had immense power in this country, and it hasn't worked out for us.
That is the perfect picture of why MAGA is running away. Even they know their actions are too indefensible. They know the cuts to Medicaid are indefensible. They know slashing school lunches is indefensible. They know firing veterans en masse is indefensible. And so they stay quiet. But we still have the agency to be loud, to have their failures be known by people who are impacted by this, but don't know who to blame. And it's not about who to blame, but who's going to help him. That's what we have to be the party of, and that's what we're going to talk about every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.